Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
Were you missing him?
Yeah, I thought I
There
was
he
just in
is.
the void alone, and that's what I plan on doing with this next episode. We're
Speaking of
watching Twin Peaks
the
episode
episode,
8, the episode.
the episode.
Um, None of us have really revisited this episode since we first watched it, right?
Nope.
Nope.
Cool.
Certainly not with other people.
Yeah, this will be
All of
interesting.
my thoughts about Twin Peaks: The Return have just been brewing in my head alone with no context.
So yeah, this is a notorious episode. This is the only of its kind, I think, of this series, The Return.
Yeah.
Well, what do you in what way?
Like how it's presented to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there are things that get close. I would say.
I mean, they're bits and bobs, but this is like a whole episode. It's a whole
Yeah.
ass
I mean,
episode.
it is a whole ass episode. Yes.
It's such a deviation from the show and what we're used
Yeah.
to,
It's just like fucking open main line and fucking David Lynch into your veins.
pretty
Yeah.
What this
much. This is
episode
like,
is.
let's go on a spiritual journey. Let's go into the
Yeah.
great beyond. Let's experience something transcendental.
I do think
This is what
that
ayahuasca feels like.
I do think that your choice of thumbnail for the previous episode of like it's David Lynch sitting in front of the image of the bomb and he's like he's just like leaning back like ooh.
Whistling. Yeah.
It is very like just indicative of this one in like so many ways. And
You're right. You are right.
I feel like at this point the less said the better because all we need to do is just submerge ourselves in this experience and then live through
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
come,
So everyone,
come out the other end and see how we do.
just get your mind right and get in it, dude.
Get your soul right. Get your
Get your
chakras
soul right.
aligned.
Get all up in it. Let David Lynch penetrate the deep recesses of your brain.
Mommy, Daddy, I want to be a stunt woodsman.
Oh, my name is Stunt Woodsman.
Visual effects.
Gary D'Amico.
Buff effects.
Well, there it was, everybody. We finished episode 8.
Got late.
Wow.
How about
Wow.
that?
Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Serenity for the victims of Hiroshima.
That tragedy.
That's quite a piece of music.
So, yeah, let's go into this. I'm gonna pause it at
Nope.
a few parts
Okay.
if I can.
Let me get my
Bracho, walk us through the first part of the
Nope.
show because you were awake.
Yeah.
That's when you were waking.
I wondered if you were going to catch that.
What do you, we catch it every time, dude.
Oh, never caught it before the first time.
First time. This is the first time.
No,
Right.
first time.
First time.
Secret sleeper.
Secret sleeper. So we got the beginning was with doppelgänger, right? The
Mhm.
doppelcoop.
Yep.
Yeah, the old boy that he got out of jail with. They got car. And what's so guy he escapes with, he's got some number or something in his head that
Ray.
Dale wants. What was it for? What was the number or word?
It's
I don't think
if you remember from a while back, Ray, is that his name? He has this specific thing that Cooper needs, or a doppelcoop needs, and he talked
Yep.
about it at the diner a while back, and that was when he killed the other like mechanic guy. with like putting his hand in his mouth and like wiggling it around.
Oh yeah.
He mentioned something that he needs this piece of information. He's like, I need this information, and he has
this.
and he got this. Ray, I think now I'm gonna just interject a little bit here. Has a phone call with this guy named Phillip. What's going on with Phillip? We know of
Who
a
is
Phillip.
Phillip?
We know of a Phillip,
Do we?
right, guys?
Do we?
Phillip Jeffries,
Who could that be? Oh,
our man.
What's that?
So the information is probably
Wait. Our man or Starman?
Starman, maybe Starman.
Well, I mean, absolutely, yes. He's a villain.
So that's what I just wanted to interject that little bit when he talks on the phone to Phillip.
It took like I had to do a auditory double take where I was like, hold on a second. Is that what he said? Yeah, that's what he said.
All right, continue, Bradshaw. Where were they going, and what did they end up doing?
Yep.
Pretty much, yes.
That's it.
They travel on a road.
Is that when we lost him? Because I swear he was still fucking speaking at that point.
Oh, I was around still then.
Doesn't mean you were conscious. You were around.
Yeah.
Well, Bradshaw, I want you to talk about it because the big event happens with a bunch of you show up.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was cool. Oh yeah. I'm remembering.
That was cool.
That was cool.
That's it.
Koopa.
King Koopa.
Old boy steps out to take a pee, and then doppelgänger takes a gun out of the glove box, goes to get that information out of old boy. Old boy pulls the jokes on you, tricks on you, and turns around. Fucking Coop's gun doesn't fire, or it's not, doesn't have bullets, whatever. And he shoots. Then he shoots the doppelcoop. And then then a bunch of me's show up, covered in soot. Just coming around. They say hi.
Just to say hi. I saw it.
Just say hello.
Yeah.
Rub some hello into doppelcoop.
Yep. They just rub stuff in each other's face. So.
Just general Horkin, as you do, as the Bradshaws do. They just
There's a lot of Horkin and some shadow play going on. While the whole situation was going, and then it starts getting weird.
How so?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I guess we had a little bit of
Tom bomb
an interlude with Trent Reznor here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get old Trent.
I imagine David Lynch being like, "It's what the fuck is this shit? It's just a bunch of noise. I love it."
But after the song plays, then we get doppelcoop kind of sitting up and like looking pretty disheveled, like that was a thing.
That was cool.
And then
What
we
are you
go
thinking?
We
Back
go
to 1945.
Yeah, way back in time to the Nevada desert or something. New Mexico.
1946, White Sands test facility, real place, real event.
Is this where we lost you, Bradshaw, in this montage?
Yes.
Okay.
World's first atomic bomb was detonated at White Sands.
So,
Project Trinity.
That's a perfect segue, because I'd like to know your thoughts now, Wilson, about Bradshaw, if you have thoughts maybe about the montage, we'll skim through it, but I want Wilson to maybe, because you're writing things down.
Oh.
Yeah, I've got some notes here, and I'll try and keep it contained to just things about the montage.
Okay.
There's not a thought in my head.
So, I'm just gonna slowly move through this, and if you want to, after the fact, edit images to go along with this, it'll be pretty simple, but up to you.
Okay.
So, because yeah, we just start in the desert with the detonation of the bomb.
Why is that
And
significant, you think?
well, from what I know about David Lynch, because this is talking more about him and his sensibilities as a filmmaker and less about Twin Peaks for a second.
Mm.
There's that shot in Blue Velvet of the idyllic neighborhood and everything wonderful and like just so picturesque happening, and then it fades to the like just below the surface of that, and there's all the bugs and gross creepy shit, and it's like,
The evil
you know,
that's underlying every beautiful thing, you know.
well, yeah, and it's maybe not
That's
even necessarily
that's
evil,
his
but
that's his
like
commentary. It's like on the
there's
surface everything looks pleasant, but if you dig deep
Mhm,
enough, if you go deeper, you'll
mhm.
find the shit.
So and the perceived like glorified part of that was very like 1950s esque, you know. Even when the rest of the movie didn't really take place in that era, everything was like old timey, like 1950s white picket fence shit.
Hmm.
So I think that what he's doing here is I think the detonating of the bomb is his perceived moment of a lost innocence for humanity.
Okay, interesting take.
And I mean that test happened on American soil. The Manhattan Project was an American project. It just like some of that attribution of that event absolutely goes to America. So I think that he's just saying that like this is the point where things just royally got fucked up, and there's a loss of innocence where we're willing
There's
to go
okay.
to these steps,
Yep,
and like
we're
that's
getting
that.
deeper. We're getting deeper. I'm liking this.
Yeah. So, and then the consequences of that are some of the further events of the show where um
Hmm.
maybe there always have been lodge spirits, right? uh in the world, in the ether, in another dimension, whatever, but there's always been lodge spirits. But until this detonation, there was never on Earth the presence of Judy and therefore Bob, from what we see here.
And therefore, explain Judy briefly. Like, what is she a representation of, or it, the entity?
Well, there's like it depends. It depends because the first time that it gets brought up is after the fact in the show. Like we've seen this like lanky what black and white gaunt like skin figure, like kind of like the Slender Man a little bit, like
Hmm.
in the box at the beginning and then
No
during this
face.
episode. Yeah, yeah, it's a little tough to explain, but it's definitely like of another world. But that is supposed to be Judy,
Hmm.
and uh, there's like, you know, in the past, certain Native American tribes referred to her as Jaude, or like throughout time, this concept of this like personification of evil or this force of malevolence or evil has been around for a long time. But
Right.
maybe she's been like
She's
on
been
another
dormant.
side. Yeah, she's been dormant or captive or like on another side of a portal or some shit.
Yep, that's why
And
this
so,
montage happens. Because basically, what I
yeah.
think is, I'm right along with you.
Mm-hmm.
The messaging of David Lynch saying like this was the impetus of allowing these other forces of evil into our realm was the atom bomb. So
Mm-hmm.
he goes back to that event where it probably split a space-time thing, because you're dealing
Or
with atoms and particles and like on the
yeah, and it
finite
shows
level.
that. And here you were just in the purple flames. You can see like
Yeah,
atoms fucking splitting and
this whole thing is way better than Oppenheimer. Like this whole sequence
well,
is
I
like
bet you could add some of this
amazing.
to Oppenheimer to really like ratchet up
Yeah, it's Oppenheimer core.
Oppencore.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm right along with you.
Yeah, yeah,
So
Oppenheimer.
yeah.
the
So
prevailing evil that was laid dormant was split open because these guys decide, you know what, let's take being gods into our own hands. Let's split this atom. Let's blow this thing
yeah,
up, and let's.
like
But what they did, well, there's like yeah, we accomplished a major feat in, you know, exploding this atom bomb. But what it brought in the realm of Twin Peaks, what it brought forth onto the world, the giant, when he, you know, sees what happens, he watched the bomb, you know, like when he goes to his viewing room and stuff.
So hold on. I've got way more. Well, not way more, but I've got more notes, and it goes through the order of events here. So you know, there's the explosion. Judy, she barfs up this like big stream of stuff, and within that stream, there's all these little like pebble rock egg looking things, and then within that is a little black orb that contains the face of Bob. So it's like, you know, Bob is like the child or product of Judy in some way or another.
So did you hear me say that basically Judy's Garmonbozia coming forth?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, it looks like fucking green corn. It looks like Garmonbozia.
It's Judy's pain and sorrow coming into the world, and she's unleashing Bob, which is is the probably an offshoot or like a connecting force to Judy that likes to inhabit souls on Earth. Because, I mean, this looks like a demon. She's got little horns on her head, if you can see. She looks like a freaking demon, so it's like...
Oh, yeah, she does. Well, that's why the little symbol that gets drawn of her is like that, you know, it's like an oval shape with two little horns coming off of it, because it's Judy, and this is her. She's got backwards hands. Sometimes my arms bend backwards.
Ooh, good call.
But so then after this, we cut to the Sea of Purple, which to me is the place that we already visited before when Coop was like traveling between real Coop, like that is like in traveling in dimensions. He went to that place that was like in that dimension of complete purple. So to me, it's the same place, but just maybe like in a different location of that universe.
Lighting.
But the building there, the exterior of that building, actually like was really strongly triggering something in me of like, it looked like maybe a building in Eraserhead, one of the buildings on the moon that we see briefly in a dream sequence. Like the architecture, the style, the smoothness, but that like angularity and different. There's just, it's been a long time. Like it's been years since I watched Eraserhead, but I just feel like there's a lot of moments of this episode that remind me of other, like near the very beginning there were moments that reminded me of the very fucking beginning of Elephant Man, where it's like the short little montage of his mother. I don't know if it's a dream sequence or something, but his mother being like trampled by elephants.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But then, you know, there's this scene. There's the gold goop that leads into the Sea of Purple. And then
we
from
zoom
the Sea
into
of Purple,
the gold goop, and then the gold goop.
Yep.
Is It's like a.
It's like layers, like
Yep.
gold goop into Sea of Purple, and then we go from the Sea of Purple, we zoom into this place, which once we get inside is monochrome. Which the very first scene of The Return was in a monochrome place of like similar style.
Yeah, this
I don't
is
know.
definitely a decade too. Like this is very 40s
Yeah.
decor.
Yeah. And then this person here that we see, that's Dido, the musical artist.
My tears gone cold. I'm
Yeah,
wondering why.
Not only is that Dido, but like I believe that her credit is Lady Dido.
Oh yeah.
So there's
And I want to thank
Dido.
you for giving me the best day of my life.
And I can't see it all.
There's Dido,
How
There's the giant.
how
slash...
amazing was this whole sequence here? Like I was
Oh
like
my God.
almost
The whole episode.
I was emotional during this. Like I felt for the giant. Like there was like you don't know much about him, but like if this is chronologically maybe the first time he's done something like this, I got emotional. It was pretty heavy when he got that call,
So-
or I mean this thing buzzing, and he's like inspecting everything, and then watches the video,
Yeah.
and then his response to that was so like beautiful.
His face, man. Carl Strukian. But okay, so this may or may not be the giant. This could be a character because I think that he's credited at some point in the show also as fireman, like singular fireman. And then the characters that we see that you're talking about that are Broadshow, that are like the sooty, dirty, the god of light, those are
Woodsman.
characters referred to as the woodsmen, plural, woodsmen.
Right.
So I said woodsman.
Which
Well-
is there's a correlation between the two, you know, fireman, woodsman kind of thing.
Fire and wood.
They were
They
in
go together.
Firewalk with it. Or season
Well-
2, I don't remember.
The fucking they were in Firewalk with me. God, do they show up in the actual series? They might have in like a prototypical
Yeah.
not even like sooty or gray, but just like dressed in that attire of like plaid and suspenders and shit. But yeah. So the alarm goes off. The fireman walks past. So there's a teapot, what I call a teapot. It's this shape that we see on the left side of the screen here.
Yeah,
The,
or
like
like a
black
like
metal.
a bell, like a diving bell almost.
Yeah, I just call it a teapot because of what we see later in the series.
Yeah.
He walks in the previous shot with just Dido. It's her, a teapot, and then the giant steps out from behind the teapot. An alarm starts going off. He like looks at the audience, kinda.
He does.
Like he stares off in the distance, but we don't see what he's looking at ever, and he just only looks. I don't know if he's like actually spiking the camera, but he's definitely looking in the direction of the camera. And then he walks down the hall or whatever, and he walks past another separate teapot, and he goes into a theater with yet another teapot on the left side there. He watches the screen of the detonation in White Sands, the stuff happening at the convenience store, Judy, Bob, and then it's just like I took notes because I was like, I gotta get this shit straight. There's so much happening. He floats up. Lady D comes in. His mouth starts releasing like this gold mist that then it makes this weird symbol or shape. Can you guys tell what that
Yeah,
was?
It was like a fingerprint, or like it looked like the grain, like a wood grain almost, like but elevated.
Oh, that's a really good point. I didn't think about that.
I'll try to see if I can find it. A
I'm
good
sure you
shot of
can.
it.
Yeah, it's not too much farther.
Do it, because I don't remember any of it.
Well, there's a reason for that, Eric. Your eyes were not open.
I dreamed, so I had to come say hi. It was a special day.
I would expect nothing less.
It was like, oh, dude, they're watching the episode. I gotta come
And
say
I
hey.
can't see it all. But even if I could, I'll be back. Put your picture on my wall. You remind me of a golden orb of Laura Palmer.
So, this whole scene, yeah, this was kind of emotional because I was like, this means something.
whole
There's
scene?
something.
Wow.
There's something to this
Mm-hmm.
because you see the black orb of Bob spew
Yep.
out of Judy, and then the antithesis of that is this character, the fireman, spewing out his like good side orb.
His
of-
response to it.
His response is Laura Palmer.
Which is crazy because it's like up until this point we've only
Bob is
known
the
her
disease
to
and
be
the-
like a mortal being, but apparently she's a fucking like demigod or just a create like an
I
immaculate
think that's good.
or yeah, like an immaculate conception sort of. But
Immaculate erection. Then.
Immaculate erection. There's a lot of that in Fire
Yeah.
Walk with Me. I can tell you that.
True.
the Laura orb, Lorba.
So what do you
Lorba?
think? What do you think that means? Like, is he this orb? Was he trying to impregnate Earth with the idea that Laura would be like the chosen one eventually to help combat Bob?
Yes, roughly yes. I think that he was. Yes, I think that we basically like this. The Laura orb. What we see here. I don't necessarily want to call this Laura.
No, it's
here,
not.
but, like,
It's the idea of her.
Lorba.
Eventually.
yeah. Lorba. This Lorba
Lorba.
that was created
Lorba.
is his response to the black orb that was created by Judy. That is like the Borba, the Bob orb.
Bob orb.
Yep.
The
The
Borb.
Borba.
Orb.
Yeah, Borb. And so yes, he's basically like ensuring that at some point she will come into creation to or when like he because this is the fucking
The
picture of
medicine
her.
is the dude.
Yeah.
She's a time released medicine for the disease
Inside of
that
a
is
gel
Bob.
capsule.
Yeah, it's a
exactly.
big suppository. Yeah, for the Earth.
Ingredients: Laura Palmer, comma, gelatin.
Orb.
Orb.
Yes, comma, orb.
Take once generationally.
So yeah, this like there's multiple montage moments that really to me seem to one influences the other, or it is an interconnected story, but you kind of do have to like take it moment by moment and look at what's going on here to try and understand this shit. Because again, I don't think I fucking understand this. I'm just trying to tell you what I noticed.
Oh, you basically just make a head canon based off of what you see.
Uh-huh. Yep.
All I know is you see
Oh,
General
shit.
Blake head ass in there, don't you?
Oh yeah, the other thing I noticed too, the shape of the mushroom cloud. Typically, you see, when you see footage of real mushroom clouds, they're a lot more like
Phallic.
what would be the stalk of the mushroom is a lot more thick
Ooh.
compared to like the
Yeah,
head of
that's
it.
true.
But this one was so
That's true.
thin that it actually reminded me of the shape of the new version of the arm, where he's like the thin tree with the bulbous shape at the top.
Mm.
And I didn't see much more connection than that, but I was like, oh man, I'm really noticing that connection here.
Interesting.
Oh fuck! Here, look at this. Is that a penis? Is that a fucking dick and balls there? With like,
yes.
are the two?
Yeah,
So, there's the giant up there releasing the spew, and then there's the two golden large orbs, and then it like is a shaft that comes down. Do we think that maybe the curvy tube is like the fucking vast deferens or some shit?
It is literally impregnating the world
It
with
is.
Yeah.
The idea
Orb
of
and Lorba.
Laura, of
Yeah.
Lorba.
It's putting the Lorba into the world.
yeah, dude. Literally.
This is fun. I like this.
It is.
This theory crafting.
Pretty much everywhere there's dicks and balls, dude. You just have to look hard enough.
Pretty much everywhere. Okay, and then so this
frog
fucking
bug.
frog moth. But going back just a little bit, if we see the egg unbroken, that is exactly the shape that there were countless numbers of inside of Judy's barf, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So if there's this one and we follow what happens with this one and see what happens with it, what happened to all the others?
Are we supposed to think that egg is like Bob manifest a little bit, like it's in his pupa stage or something, or
Well,
trying
I don't
to
know.
impregnate into somebody, like the young girl? Like
Yeah,
evil
that could
into
that's
people, and then it like after it's
I don't-
done feeding on her, it'll jump to another person and then gestate.
I don't know if
whatever
it's
else.
Bob specifically, but my take on it was maybe that we're just seeing what happens with one of these eggs and one of these frog moths. And it happens to go into Sarah Palmer. And so maybe all of the
So
other
now-
ones that we didn't see what happened to them, maybe people with frog moths in them are people that
Me.
are either possessed by or are like more easily possessed by lodge spirits.
It's me.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know. I could not fucking tell you any of this shit. I'm just trying
I
to
like
give you
that though. I like what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Enjoy it.
I think that's
Tell
the
you.
most clear way you could explain what we see. I mean, that it tracks, you know.
Yeah, I'm really just yeah, going with what I'm seeing here.
Got a light.
And the God of Light stuff.
Shit.
And then
Bottle of light.
Boucher's like, hey. um, do we know who this boy is?
Me.
The actor or what?
Who's he supposed to be? Just Sarah's first kiss or what?
Yeah. Just a boy that Sarah knew at some point,
Boy.
evidently.
It'd be crazy if he ended up being something that was really important later or some kind of connection. But the wholesome thing he does here is show a sign of love, right? And we talked about this a few times, love and fear and how it kind of shields you. And the course of the show, there's examples of both sides and one side conquering the other, like when Laura does everything for love in Fire Walk With Me, that kind of moment when she just smiles and understands her situation. She didn't seem like she was scared at all. She was like full of love and happiness and
Yep.
smiles, you know.
Understanding. She knew.
She knew.
I would be curious to rewatch Blue Velvet because maybe there's somebody that's dressed like a woodsman in that movie.
Yeah, it took place
be.
in a logging town.
If it takes place in a logging town, somebody in like, you know, red plaid shirt, maybe like a fur bomber hat, or yeah,
It was called something like Logville or something weird.
Lincolnton, some shit.
Lincolnton Shireman.
Lincolnton Shireman. Lumberton.
The Gap.
But
Well, that's Cumberland.
Yeah, now that you meant like since you mentioned the wood grain thing with that like golden mist, when we looked at it, it definitely looked like a knot in a piece of wood.
yeah,
you know?
like it looked like
it
a
was
knot.
yeah. I would be curious to know if David Lynch or Mark Frost or like has any of them done like woodworking or hand carving or some shit, like what
Probably.
where does the wood part of it come from? Maybe it's just something having to do with the
Logging town.
chakra or like TM part of
Well,
it.
it does.
Remember
because
the evil's in the wood, dude.
the
Remember?
evil's in the wood. Well, the spirits
Yeah.
are in the wood.
Spirits are in the wood. Yep. Josie's in the wood. Everyone's in the wood.
Outside of Twin Peaks, the idea of
Yeah.
wood having, you know, just the idea of wood in reality and trees and logs and things like that. I think there's something there to like our connection with nature. There's a connection with
Right.
how we're symbiotic with it in some cases. Like it gives us oxygen, it gives
Nature.
us life.
Maybe.
Essentially we
Mhm.
we give it life by breathing our, you know, our carbon, and it helps it grow.
Symbiosis.
And then yeah, it's just a symbiotic relationship. And then I mean, what was I reading recently? That the Hyperion tree.
Hmm.
Have you heard about the Hyperion tree? It's like the tallest tree in the world. It's
Oh,
like
no.
it's like
I have not.
a breed of tree that just like they sectioned off that it's like you can't travel within where the Hyperion grows, because if you trample on its soil, it'll ruin the roots.
Sick.
But it's like,
Just like
you
me.
know, it's like the redwoods and things like that, like those tall
Yeah.
trees that are massive, and they just are. They're kind of
Fragile.
gods. They're kind of gods in and of themselves. You know, like they're
Yeah.
large, like never ending. Like
Lord.
they're gonna be around long after we're like humans are gone. Like they're just. I don't know. There's something about trees and nature that kind of is like their own, in their own world.
Trees
They're
belong
gods.
to nature. You ever see trees that
Trees are pretty dope, man.
like the inside of
Hey.
lungs?
And trees
Trees are
have
pretty cool, dude.
trees have their own Bob, the Bayo Bob.
Yeah, but
What else can we say about this? We just know that this frog moth jumps into her mouth
Yep.
and
Yeah.
wiggles
Yeah.
his way in there.
He goes into her mouth, and then he keeps saying this shit. I don't even want to try and like analyze the little limerick that he says.
He talks about horses, and there was a horse in the main series, that white horse
That's
that keeps
about-
showing up.
Yep,
It's
that's
the only
about
connection
all
I
know.
could take. And it was white.
she sees
There's
the
a,
horse.
there's a horse in the main show.
She sees the horse.
That fucking face right there.
You die. I hate your music.
That's the face. POV. You and your friend are having a sleepover, and your mom just told you that you're having Kool-Aid tonight. Your friend's like,
When she starts undressing.
when you get the 24-pack cube of Mountain Dew at the sleepover, dude.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot of Mountain Dew.
Hell yeah, it is, dude.
So homeboy, never gets a light. That's what I take away from this episode. When he walks into
Yeah,
the
never does.
wilderness.
Makes me sad.
Makes me
I
sad.
like. I just complete. I don't even remember what I would have the ending being in my mind, but I don't remember it ending this way, of him just walking off, and then like the second he disappears, we start credits.
What happens when he does get a light? You know,
That's what
That's
we're wondering.
Eric. That's exactly what I said. Like, what happens if he goes up to somebody and he's like, "Got a light?" and they just fucking are like, "Yeah, dude."
yeah.
They get him.
So-
You know.
That's what happened if I was there, dude. I mean, it is me. But if I was there,
If we need to let David Lynch know about Eric Bradshaw, and then he's gonna make season 3 of Twin Peaks immediately, because he's like,
Oh shit, this changes everything. If Eric Bradshaw was there to give a light.
it would, dude. Here I am.
All these broad shows.
"Here I
You're
am,
the
Mark
Iron
Frost.
Man.
Here I am, David."
I send a letter, so a letter to David Lynch that says he is I and I am him, and then it changes everything.
You're gonna get the police called on you.
Dear David Lynch,
Got it.
he is I,
David
and I'm
Lynch
him.
Dear David, he
He is I and I am
Eric
him.
Bradshaw. Sincerely, Eric Bradshaw.
And David Lynch is like,
As your return address
Yeah.
up there.
Yes,
Yep.
we know.
it's time, Mark. Season 3.
Weather
All up, Kyle.
weather update. Eric Bradshaw, I'm coming for you.
And he's from Fargo, North
Vendetta.
Dakota.
North Dakota.
Yeah, some of the imagery, like it would be interesting to learn how he shot some of this,
Oh, I
like
know,
how some of
that's-
this was done.
That was one thing I was like, this is like on another level of 2001: A Space Odyssey. Like this is
It's
his,
very much 2001. Yeah,
but like I was,
2001, the Hang Odyssey, dude. That's what this is.
it was. But I loved every second of it. I was like, oh my god, I know what this is supposed to represent. I get what he's trying to say. This wasn't some
Yeah,
kind of
like-
like thing, because we
Mhm.
just slow zoom in on the bomb itself, and you're like, oh yeah, colliding particles
watching
and things like that. And
We're watching a birthing video.
but
We are.
there's
we
like,
are
parts
actually
where it's,
Bradshaw.
like, static. It's like
Yep.
it's not even static. It's just like there's a black screen and there's little right here. This is very Eraserhead, but
White
it's also
noise
like
looking.
this is the static of dimensions breaking through, or like a hole in reality, our reality being like rubbed through. You know,
Ooh,
it's just
rub through, man.
Rubbed off.
Remember
Yeah,
where?
rub me-
Remember
rub
where
me through the dimensions,
we've
dude.
seen this before, right? When Cooper was falling through the White Lodge or the Black Lodge.
Did we?
Yeah, remember he
Oh,
was
yeah.
getting yelled at by the arm. It was like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And he's, yeah. What did he say again?
I'd have to
Resistance?
see that. He said non-existent.
Non-existent. So yeah, and then he falls through the floor, and then he falls into like a black pool that's supposed to represent space, and he's
So
shaking.
I take this visual as being some sort of barrier, or at least some sort of location as like a tertiary, or maybe a location of a different dimension. Like he's just passing through. That's just one thing that we're seeing. It's a layer. It is an aspect of this punching through of realities. Look at all these branches.
Damn. Back right, dude. Back
Choo
right.
choo.
Damn.
You gonna choo choo? Chugga 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 chugga.
I want to know what these guys are saying, because like you kind of heard some like
You know what
jumbled.
they're saying, dude?
I know what they're saying.
You've
like,
been around me.
I know exactly what they're saying.
How's good?
Aside.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Huh?
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
That's what she said.
That-
That's what she said.
Black eye, like a doll's eye.
Yeah, there's so much. All of that.
What the hell?
So many.
So much butthole talk going on. Anal crips.
Crips and like
Anal
nickname
crips
in
and
high
then-
school.
Yeah,
Yep. That's what she said.
Dibs on band name.
it was awesome. Yeah, these nuts, dude.
Yep.
Shit.
Oh god. It's an unending cycle of these
Yeah.
nuts.
Dude, life is an unending cycle of these nuts, dude.
You see what I mean?
Yeah,
And there we are,
Really?
folks. Wild
life
stuff.
imitates art, dude. Life imitates art.
I feel like it would be really because there's the whatever cut that you want to watch of the Star
Marvel
Wars series,
Oh,
or Marvel, yes, or the MCU. Show somebody this for the very fucking first thing they ever see of Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
And then go back to the first episode of season 1 and just be
Yeah.
like, all right, there you go.
Enjoy.
total whiplash.
Little context for you.
I just like
Yeah.
yeah.
This is not the context we need.
Because
There you go.
Yeah.
theoretically, chronologically, you're supposed
Yeah.
to be seeing this like 75% of the way through of like the majority of what there is of Twin Peaks, like, right?
Yeah.
So it would be really interesting to hear somebody's
chronological
perspective
order.
that like really sees or experiences this earlier than that point.
Yeah. It's like, all right, guys. So this takes place 50 years before the start of this show.
No, don't even tell them that. Don't even fucking tell them that.
There you go.
Just hey,
1945.
we're gonna start watching a show called Twin Peaks. Here's the first thing I'm gonna show you. It's not the first episode. That's all I'm gonna tell you. That's it. That's it.
Chronologically, it happens first.
This is what you need to know for the rest of the show. This is your context. This is your
Not the way.
this is your aperitif, not a palate cleanser, but like a palate preparer.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and you're not wrong. And like, if they come back and say like, "What the fuck was that?" Like, well, then you weren't watching, because you get everything you need. All you
all
really
it-
need is to watch
Everything you need right there.
Judy vomit and this guy
Uh-huh.
spew lore out of his head. Like, those are really significant for the whole show.
That's really all that you need, because the firemen
All
or like
context.
the woodsmen and
Those are the contexts you need.
everything else is just like context for different parts of the show. But if you just watch the like explosion montage and then this and Judy, and you could cut that one part out of the episode and like cut that montage together itself and be like, here is the fucking
Everything you need to know
origin
about Twin
story of everything in Twin Peaks.
This is all you need to know. Have fun.
Peaks. This is all you need to know.
But
It's
I
true.
will
I mean, once you get to the end of it, and then you're like, oh, well, some people will be like, I still don't get it, but
Yes. I will say that like if there's anybody who's participating in our journey through Twin Peaks,
me,
seek out, like, go to YouTube and just search the secret history of Twin Peaks. And there was at some point that I watched, but there should still be a version of the audiobook of the secret history of Twin Peaks. And if you're at all interested in this show, it really helps give you so much like context and exploration of so many things that directly relate to this and like just everything. So I don't know how we would cover that because it's like a 9-hour video of an audiobook. You know, audiobooks are like pretty fucking long sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
They're both.
I don't know how the three of us would in a like concise way really cover that information, but it is for anybody who wants to experience the world and information of Twin Peaks. It is a incredibly enriching experience. So I just recommend seek out the publication, seek out the real audiobook, seek out that YouTube video, whatever you want to do. But like, and to you two boys as well. If neither of you have experienced that, I think Tyler, you said you
Yeah.
watched that.
I
I
have
watched
it.
a little bit of it. I didn't really stick with it, but I'm eager to try.
I
stick with it
have
again.
I have the physical book, but like, just
Or
really listen to it seriously and try to listen to the information that's in there because it is very enlightening and gives you so much more context that really enriches the experience of all of Twin Peaks. In my
or
opinion.
you just watch this episode because this is all the context you need.
This is all you need. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and
No,
I'm
I
just
do
talking
want
about,
to.
like,
I do like
adding
that.
to
That book would be cool. Yeah, I'd like to check it out. I
Mhm.
like how the giant is just straight fucking splurting out his head right now, dude.
He's like, oh, it's coming. It's all coming.
Dude, with those Bernies. Yeah,
He's got a galaxy in his head.
dude, he's got a galaxy in his
We
nuts,
are
dude.
made of star stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, we made it past episode 8. Do you guys want to
Dude,
know
we're
what the next
creeping up.
episode is called?
Yes.
It's not get a or have a got a light. It's
Is it star stuff?
it's really
getting
innocuous.
close.
It's really just like blah. It's called
Episode.
This is the chair. Part
Oh,
9.
okay.
This
Sick.
is the chair.
This is the chair.
Sounds like a Dougie related thing, to be honest with you, with like that title.
This is the
Yeah,
chair.
This is the chair.
This is the chair.
The jackpots. We're starting to creep up on, because I think the last episode I saw was episode 12. So now we're starting to encroach, getting closer to stuff I haven't seen yet.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
Hell yeah.
anybody else wants to,
How do
tag along with us, watch our
Just
previous
watch this
episodes.
episode.
Watch
Nope,
this
just
episode.
watch this one.
Watch
So
just
all
that
the
little,
context you need.
little 20-minute montage, and
Watch this episode, and then if the idea of Twin Peaks intrigues you, watch the other stuff that we've covered of Twin Peaks, and watch the show along with us. Follow into this rabbit hole of David Lynch, Mark
Rabbit holes.
Frost,
The rabbit hole of rabbit holes.
Kyle MacLachlan, Dune.
yeah, Dune,
Gosh, what else? What else have we extended it to at this point?
Blue Velvet,
So much. Blue Velvet, yes.
Elephant Man.
Jason Mraz.
A bunch of psych. We've
John
gone to
Mayer.
all sorts of
Jason
media.
Mraz, John Mayer.
I don't know why you said
Jason
Jason
Mraz.
Mraz.
Same
John
difference.
Mayer.
dude.
They're the same
I bet
person.
John,
You just need the
It's a
context.
JM, dude.
the Elephant Man, Jason Mraz.
Yeah, dude. That's like
The Elephant Man, Josh Groban.
That's like the Jason Mraz Elephant Man to John Mayer Elephant Man is like Nosferatu to Dracula. You know what I mean?
Okay.
the pachyderm gent.
Yep, exactly. Mastodon, mate.
Oh my
Mastodon boy.
god. Mastodon
Um,
boy.
No, I think you're thinking of
No,
Tarzan boy.
You're thinking of
What the hell?
Mammoth.
You made your daddy proud. Proud.
Mammoth male.
All right.
What the fuck was that?
We're gonna leave it there for this episode. We'll be back with episode 9. Like I said, the chair, whatever it's called. This is the chair.
Oh, chair.
This is the way.
This is the chair. Yeah, we get to
This is the chair.
experience that one. I'm gonna
Make your
look
doggy
forward to
proud.
seeing like we talked about at the beginning of this episode, that I'm hoping to see maybe other glimpses into this kind of idea that Lynch, showed off in this episode, because it was such a deviation.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of a story beat, but like it led into this.
Yeah.
And it did it kind of perfectly. Like it made sense because thematically it
Yeah.
showed what the hell were those spirits coming at Doppelkoop and like rubbing pizza sauce on his shirt and stuff.
Yeah.
What was the deal with that?
Doing a
And, like,
rub down. But
we got a little bit of context, like what their whole deal is.
sexy tomato sauce rub down.
Yeah, it was a great time.
243.
It's a great time at Broad shows, on those Pizza Mondays. That's why he looks
Yep.
forward to it.
That's what happens with pizza. That's what you get.
Spaghetti
What do you
Tuesday.
have with Pizza Monday? This episode is what plays out on Spaghetti Monday.
Wait, Spaghetti Monday?
Spaghetti Monday?
Nope. Pizza Monday.
You said
Confused
Spaghetti
me with
Monday?
Spaghetti Tuesday.
Hold on. Now we're digging
yeah,
into
Spaghetti Tuesday.
some deeper lore
I
with
did
Broad
have
Show.
I did have a spaghetti Wednesday this week, but
Okay.
and a Pizza Monday. So you know what I mean.
Rigatoni Thursday.
What was I gonna say? I was gonna say one more thing.
You're going to say goodbye to everybody. Thanks for watching our episode.
I was gonna say goodbye. Yeah, I guess that's it. I guess that's it.
Yeah, I guess that's
Oh,
it.
if you guys have any you peoples watching have any things that we missed talking about, or things that you saw in this episode that we didn't bring up or might not have noticed, leave it in the comments below.
I'd be very interested to know, like,
Yep.
what other people
I-
thought of this, or just their interpretation of what they saw.
I would
Give the
like
video a
to...
like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric's making a
If
lot
you
of
like
good
it.
points here.
Very true.
The one thing that I would like to leave our viewers with is to join us for an in-person live event at October 19th, 2024. We will be at the White Sands Missile Range for the Trinity Site Open House. Just to let you know.
Yeah, come on down. Stop on down. We'll be at the attic of the convenience store.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
hanging out.
Site access will be at the Stallion Gate, so make sure to take
I will
Highway
have a light.
380. Yep. Broadshow will
I
have a
will
light.
have a light.
He's
So
got
if
two
you
lights.
if you're lost on the way there, just on the way to on Highway 380, we'll have signs posted. Fargonauts. Broadshow will be posted up.
Bring your orbs.
There
Bring your lore.
how you'll
Bring
know-
your orb, bring your Dido.
how you'll know is on the way up there I will have crossed off the 380 from the highway and just put 420, and then you'll know that's me.
All right. Thank you for joining us, and hope you had fun. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Enjoy these gold dick and balls. Goodbye.